Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. Okay, this is Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome back to work, vacation, school. It's cold this morning, wasn't it? I had some folks I knew have already had trouble starting the car out there. Get those cars ready. This is not even cold yet. This is chilly compared to what's coming our way. All right, let's run down the stats. 3.7, that hasn't changed any since last time I talked to you guys last year. The normal to date, though, has increased, getting closer to our yearly total. We're still above normal, so we'll take it, right, snow lovers? And then last year to date, that has increased a half a foot compared to this year. On the board tonight, very light snow events. Later tonight, Wednesday morning, Friday, and then Sunday night. I give a full Twix bar on a scale of 0 to 10. I'll explain why that one could have a little more of an impact on travel. Okay, temperature-wise. Yeah, I mean, it's cold. Nothing brutal. Nothing that is out of the ordinary. This is just a cold blast. Temperatures now in the teens in Indiana, 24 here in Louisville. The wind chill adds a bite to it. Many areas into the teens. We'll see that drop into the single digits tonight. So let's get to the Clipper. You see the high clouds and the visible satellite already increasing across Indiana, northern Kentucky. Now, when you look to the north, here's the kicker with Clippers, is they are based on two things. The amount of dry air you have in the atmosphere over your region and the amount of forcing, or the vortex is what we track in a Clipper system. Well, I'll tell you right now, we got a dry atmosphere. Dew points right now in the single digits. Our actual temperatures you see here in the banner is 24 degrees. So very dry air. So at this point, we've got to overcome the dry air, for one. And then two, we've got to overcome the track of the vortex energy. Wherever the vortex, it's a narrow band of energy that'll track. Anywhere north of that is where your snow falls. So you want to track the vortex, not the radar. A lot of you guys look at the radar. Oh, that snow's going to go way up here. Da, da, da. You don't. That's not the path of the Clipper. The Clipper is down here. You got to watch the energy path as it tracks to the east, and where that sets up determines your snow band location. And the models can waver. And in this kind of a setup for us tonight and tomorrow, 2 or 3 counties makes a big difference on the path of that belt of energy, and that is it's a margin of error for models to make. So. There could be some surprises in areas. All right, here's some of the latest data coming in. It looks like they just issued a winter storm warning. It's just popped in for portions of the Cincinnati area. But you see the main snow alerts are found north of the belt of energy because the belt of energy, as I'll show you, is forecast to track right along 64. So your accumulating snow, your heaviest, will be north of that. Fully expect Indianapolis to issue winter storm warnings as well, so this will all be pink by the time you see us on News Time today. There's a chance, though, northern counties, including up to Carrollton, may go under an advisory. Criteria out of the Indianapolis office and Wilmington is slightly different than Louisville, but there is a chance that our northern counties could see an advisory come out based on some of the trends on the models. We'll see how that goes. We'll know here in about another 2 hours. Here's the belt of energy I was talking about from the NAM high res. Look at that. Tracks right over northern Kentucky and then off to the east. This is the prime spot, based on the NAM anyway, for snowfall. Then, what's interesting about that is then as we get into Wednesday, here's the Arctic front, the one that's capturing a lot of headlines. As it plows through, it does have some energy with it too, a belt of energy and forcing, so it could squeeze out some whatever's moisture's in the air. And with Arctic air, it doesn't take much to squeeze out anything. But you can get some light snow flurries and snow showers, and every single flake will stick. So, got to watch that, because there could be some surprises here Wednesday morning with some just a light dusting of snow. Nothing major, but if the timing times out the way it's looking, say 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, there could be icy spots in places. Got to watch that. All right, here is the rapid refresh model. It does not show snow, it just shows precipitation in general, but I think it is an interesting trend it's had here today. Notice the first little streak. It's a warning shot it'll give us toward this evening, but our dew points are so low, I just don't see much more than a flake or two coming out of this. That will change. As we get toward mid to late evening, we'll start to get accumulating snow moving into areas of Indiana. At this point, there should be an inch of snow and slick roads here in Indiana in that darker green shaded area. And then as we get into about midnight tonight, notice how that darker green, the second shade of it anyway, is in our northern tier. That is a spot to watch for an accumulating snow of more than an inch. If you're in this next shade of green, which puts close to Louisville and 64, you could get a light coating, and less than an inch, but even a half inch could cause some problems. And then once you get below that, dusting at best, most of that would just be flurries, if anything can reach the ground that far south. But it's all going to decide on the path of that energy belt. And again, a couple counties makes a big difference. And then by the morning hours, it begins to ease off enough around the area. Here's the RPM model. It's also a high-res model. it just came in with another update. Later on tonight, it's already given Seymour an inch and a half of snow, and by tomorrow morning, a total of 3.5 for Seymour. And look what happens. You go to Salem, 1/10 of an inch. Can you imagine trying to issue alerts this afternoon? The Weather Service has to do that for one part of the county could get almost 4 inches, and the other part gets barely a dusting. I mean, it's a tough one, guys. But we deal with this a lot. But it's a tough forecast for Indiana on that snow band. And any further track of that belt of energy, even by a couple of counties, will push this further south. So this is a nowcasting event. Something we've got to watch. Your reports tonight will really help us engage in how this is playing out so we know what to relay to the Weather Service. So we appreciate that. And then we'll get into that second band of snow. Doesn't really show up too well for Wednesday morning, the Arctic front, but there will be some streaks of some light snow here for Wednesday morning that we'll watch. Then the cold air, well advertised. It arrives as we head into Thursday morning. This is the Canadian raw model numbers here, giving us about 3 below in Louisville area. Now, I don't know if we'll get that cold or not because of issues of whether we have any snow on the ground at all, or if we have a gusty wind. If the winds are high enough, you really can't drop as low. If the winds are light, you will, with a clear sky especially. So we'll watch this for Thursday morning, but at least 0. But I fully expect several locations to be below 0, especially in Indiana, as we head into Thursday morning. Wind chills, by the way, could dip to at least 10 below, if not lower. And if that's the case, wind chill advisories will come out. You don't get into a wind chill warning until you get to 25 below 0. I don't think it's going to go that low. But 10 below, that's reachable. And so we could see some wind chill advisories come out for Thursday morning. We'll watch that. Then the Canadian, which has sniffed out the Clipper that's coming in now for tonight, more than the other models have. And it's sniffing out the flurry potential for Wednesday quicker than the other models have. And now the Canadian's picking out on the second wave, or really I guess you would say a third surge of cold air for Friday that will squeeze out some moisture with it. Another round of light snow. Got to watch that for Friday because that could potentially get us colder for Saturday morning compared to what we're going to see Thursday morning. Wouldn't surprise me. And it's colder on the model. It's already got us at 5 below for Saturday and 13 below here across areas to the north. So, and we could have a better chance to have a very light dusting at that point between the Tuesday system and the Wednesday flurries and the Friday system. We very well could have a nice light coating to really add to that drop for Saturday morning. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the other models trend colder on Saturday compared to what we're going to see Thursday. I haven't seen it just yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. Then we get into the weekend. Classic overrunning scenario. As we've talked about, Arctic air is heavy, doesn't want to move out quickly, so it stays around a little longer than the models indicate. But the air above it is warm air that's flying in over this pattern for Sunday into Monday. It will go right on top of that cold air. No problem. It'll do it easily. And that's why you see these red lines. That's warm air that's flowing over us. But at the ground, that's the question. Where are we going to be at temperature-wise for Monday morning? Are we going to be at freezing? And even more so, is the warm air not as strong above our heads as what the models are showing? If that's the case, then the cold layer could actually be thicker, which would mean more sleet. Or, thick enough, it'll be snow. But right now, all the indications are the warm surge will be just enough to get it into the liquid form for most of the atmosphere, except at the ground. And look here, freezing line runs itself awful close to us into the Ohio Valley. It's been in Monday morning. That one's going to be a tough one. But, we really can't nail that one down yet, so don't get too worked up on the Sunday one. A lot of you already are asking about it. We really are not going to know. We just know that potential is there for warm air over the cold Arctic air. Call that overrunning scenario. We know that potential is there. We just can't answer the depth yet of all the layers because we have this front coming in tonight. We've got the Arctic front for Wednesday morning with flurries, and we've got another front now scheduled to come in Friday night. And with all this movement going on, that is going to influence the Sunday night, Monday system, absolutely. And so the models are not going to have that locked in for a while. All right, so that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. A lot to cover, I know. No big snows, but it is for winter lovers a little more exciting than it has been compared to the month of December. All right, we'll see you guys coming up today at 5 o'clock. I'll be on today at 5:30, and I'll return tonight with Don G at 7:30 tonight. So look forward to talking to you guys then. See you later.